How's everything been since the encounter and then all the viral attention?
Definitely, I think the viral tension is what's more nerve-wracking than the cougar.
Wow. That's a statement for the times.
It's something I could have never thought of in a long time, right? Like I didn't think when I pulled my phone out to get to some random wildlife pictures that it'd be blown up to something massive.
Yeah, is it nerve-wracking? Is it very positive? Are you overwhelmed?
It definitely is nerve-wracking just because like I'm not a very active person on social media. And so, yeah, it definitely is something that's kind of crazy. And it's been a very new experience for me.
Yeah, sure. And yeah, it's one of a kind to blow up like that, and such a wild thing because from what I've been looking up, you run a lot, and I'm sure you see a lot of wildlife. So for this one thing to go on and gain so much attention, and glad you're safe, obviously. And what are you gonna do with this energy and stardom? Does it end at interviews? Do you have any ideas for the future?
Uh, I just barely finished doing a website. I'm gonna have some small merch going on, just with some of those comments like, "Damn, I just wanted to run," or "Holy shit face," or what was the other one? "I'm big and scary."
Yeah, yeah. Before we start, it's those were funny at the time, but could have potentially saved your life.
Yeah, exactly.
That's incredible. So can you give me a brief setup as to why you were out in the woods in the first place?
So yeah, I was just out there just because like I love to go outside. I love being in the mountains a lot. It's so much fun for me. And it's kind of just like my escape, I guess you can say. So yeah, I was going out on Saturday just to do a nice little trail run, and I went up to it's the trail called the Y, and then you just do a loop around going down another canyon. And as I was going down that canyon, well, yeah, I ran into some wildlife. Now, it is the question of like everybody is why were you filming already? And well, honestly, like I always have pulled out my phone to take pictures of wildlife. It's it's just maybe it's a bad habit I have. I don't know. So I was like, yeah, and so I just kind of pulled it out, not really knowing. I just saw they were the little cute little baby animals. I honestly kind of thought they were in the back of my head. Just thought they were bobcats because I have seen bobcats before on that trail. So as I'm kind of approaching the little babies, I then realized that they're not bobcats, but they are cougars. But it was already too late by that point, just because yeah, I already saw the mama cougar and she was already charging at me.
I don't give you any flack for taking pictures of little cubs. That seems very normal to me in the outdoors. Um, so I'm sure hundreds of times you've recounted this, and probably at a bunch of bars and family gatherings in the future you will too. Could you give me a brief explanation how the encounter unfolded from seeing the cubs to the cougar turning the corner? If you remember what you were thinking at all, or that was all brought out by your boisterous yells.
Really, it was just my thought process was like, I'm big and scary. Make me look big and scary. Just because that's what I've been taught as a kid. You never, you don't think it's going to happen to you when you run into these types of animals. And so, yeah, when I actually had this encounter, it's like, okay, here, here's a time to practice it, I guess. Or this is when I'm actually implementing it in my life. And it's actually super crazy because it's a super important moment. And so I was able to, yeah, kind of make myself loud. And that's kind of why I was yelling. And yeah, yelling a lot of explicit words and stuff like that, but it's all in the moment. Something I was just like, I don't know what to say, but I just know I need to be loud.
Seen wildlife on that trail? What's that trail usually like?
Yeah, like I said previously, I've seen two bobcats. I've had like two other bobcats instances where I've seen bobcats, and one was in Rock Canyon, and it's like two canyons north from where I saw the cougars. And then yeah, I've actually seen a bobcat in the canyon I came out of that I saw the cougars. And so like it was a normal, like I won't say a normal thing, but I've already had that occurrence. I've seen deer before, I've seen elk before, but I've never seen cougars before.
What were some of the scariest part of the experience, or could you retell how close or how unsafe you felt at that time?
So I think one of the scariest parts for me, there's like a couple of them, obviously. I mean, the whole experience was pretty scary, but I think when she kind of pops out of the trees, because she like just all of a sudden I mean, you're on the edge of your seat already because you're like, what's happening? And then you see, yeah, mama cougar pop out of the trees, and you're just like, oh, and so that gets you going, and that definitely got me going for sure. The next one was like, it was crazy when she had her lunges, and when there's like all that dirt right there on the side, and she just started lunging at me, and so it was just actually like super crazy. And there's one point on that third lunge that she probably got within 4 feet of me.
Were there any times when she was moving forward that you can think back in retrospect why that happened, or vice versa, why she stayed back? Like when you look back at
Maybe
that,
maybe I did look scary. I'm not sure. Maybe it was something that she was like, okay, yeah, maybe I don't want to mess with this human. I'm not sure. Uh, Maybe I can go ask her if I go find her again, right?
you don't have to. Um, uh, what tactics did you do when you look back that you think were effective and you might tell other people to do?
Definitely stay calm. Kind of like in the video, like I mean, I felt like I was a pretty calm, kind of like calm, level-headed. Yes, I was obviously freaking out. The adrenaline was pumping. I was in front. Like there was a mama cougar in front of me, swiping at me. Like it was something that was unreal and not something I really wanted to encounter necessarily. But it does give me a sense of like appreciation for the outdoors. Because like yeah, that's not we're guests in the outdoors. There are other animals that live out there. It's just like when someone comes to your house, you usually treat their house with a lot of respect because it's not your stuff, right? And so it's the same thing. Is we need to go out there and just make sure we're respecting the mountains and the trails as much as we can to help preserve it as well.
That's pretty big of you to say, to notice that she was protecting her family and that you were entering into her den, so to say.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
what did you bring? Were you on a run?
Yeah, so I was on a trail run. I was gonna go about 10 miles to do this loop. So yeah, I was just wearing just my shoes and my obviously my just some super light shorts. Oh ho ho! Phone almost went down.
Attaboy.
Wow. All right,
Um,
super.
that's okay.
So
Um,
yeah, I was wearing some just super light shorts and just a super light t-shirt as well as just a handheld water bottle. And that's about it.
After your experience, will you bring anything else? Would I know when you're running, you don't want to carry a book bag or a like a carpenter's belt.
Yeah, exactly. I
Will you?
think I think from now on, it's more just going to be more cautious on kind of where I'm going, as well as kind of being more cautious on what I'm running into. I think sometimes when I'm running the trail, I do get kind of just get blindfolded and I just look straight forward on the trail and don't really look side to kind of pay what's kind of around me. And so that's something that is definitely I'll probably have to change in the future. Uh, as of like bringing a firearm or a knife with me, maybe a knife, a firearm, I don't know. I don't know if it would have changed the situation for better or worse, because I don't want to kill those animals. Like, unless I'm going out and hunting, like, I don't want to kill them. They're beautiful, like, they're beautiful animals. They're they're there living, they're doing their thing, and I just wanted to do my thing as well. And so a lot of people are saying, yeah, where's your gun? Where's your gun? Because yeah, I have guns. I own guns. It's a good hobby of mine that I love, but not something that I want to be like, oh yeah, I would have shot her. Not the case at all.
I can understand that. Have you been back out running in the woods or in that area? Will you do that in the future?
I'll definitely do it in the future. I haven't been back out yet. I've been way too busy with a lot of all these interviews, and the this small this fan base now that I have has been insane. And the support from everybody saying, "Wow, you did so good. You handled it so well." And it's been crazy.
So you wouldn't be gun shy. I feel like I'm not that much of an outdoors guy. Maybe you are more so, but it was great to escape it. But you gotta like wonder every run, or is that just a part of being out in the woods?
It's definitely just being a part of being out in the woods. I mean, it's kind of like, I've used this analogy with a few others, but yeah, we get in our cars every day, not thinking we're going to get in a car crash. But guess what? It can happen. I mean, car crashes happen every day, but we don't really think it's going to happen to us until it does, right? And so it's the same thing. We're going to keep doing the same thing we do every day. And yeah, I'm going to keep getting out there on the trail as much as I can.
This may be a no-brainer for you, but why do you go out running in the woods as opposed to out in the streets or out on a gym? What does that provide for you?
I do like road running. I like road running. It is fun. But it's kind of just, it's bland, right? You stick on the road. That's all it is. You're just going through suburbs, and it's just run, 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 run. That's more for like speed, or kind of like my paced runs where I'm trying to keep a solid pace on them. Where my trail runs is more to kind of escape from the day-to-day life. Kind of escape. It's not your everyday life where you're out in the mountains, and so it's nice to get in somewhere, kind of get out and kind of see how small we are as humans, really, in this massive world.
Yeah, it really humbles you up, I bet. Um, what was the weather like that day? Do you remember it all?
Weather's great. I know right now we had this a huge, strong summer with like weather being over 100 degrees almost every day. And so I wasn't getting out that often because I would go on like just maybe a 3 mile run, and the heat would just absolutely kill me. So right now we're in like the 70s, and it's like perfect hiking, trail running weather. So I'm able to get out. I'm still in the sun, but I'm not dying of heat.
So that was a normal day weather-wise, not humid, not too hot.
No, Utah's relatively dry.
Quick grab bag question. What would you say
Yeah,
to somebody that wants to get into running? What's the secret?
be consistent.
Yes, absolutely.
Be consistent. It can be the smallest simple thing. Is once you start, don't stop. Just keep going. And always push yourself to do one more. I mean, our it's kind of like this. My philosophy on things is like our bodies can do so much. We limit ourselves on doing stuff, and a lot of the runs I like to do is I don't limit myself on how many miles I'm going to do. I'm just going to say I'm going out, and I'm done when I feel like being done. And my wife will sometimes be like, "Hey, how long are you going to go for?" I'm like, "It can be 10 minutes. It can be 3 hours. Just depends."
However you feel it. Were you at the end of a run? Were you exhausted at that point? How many miles were you trying to go? Did you have a plan?
Yeah, so that particular trail, yeah, I was planned to be gone for about 2.5 hours. Probably actually a little bit longer. Can be mistaken on that. But I was about halfway done. I still had like 4-ish miles left of my run. I was just coming down, and I was about to head back to my car on this easier dirt, kind of like dirt path.
Your wife response made me think of your recent Instagram post. I started following you, and you said you've been into cougars for a long time.
Yeah.
That was well done, sir.
Yeah, it's actually pretty funny. Side note on that, that was all her doing.
Ah! I'm glad she's cool with it too. That's not a bad thing. Um,
Yeah, well, I mean, we're all enjoying this. I mean, I guess enjoy is another word, but I mean, I have like, yeah, my sister-in-law, my wife, my brother-in-law, and his wife here. They're all on computers and laptops, making a lot of this possible for me because I couldn't. I mean, I'm one person, and I'm having millions and millions and millions of people contacting me, and so it's just insane.
yeah, I think it's very real. It's as real as it can get. Glad you are okay. Like I said, I think your responses, even though you were on some kind of autopilot, were not only entertaining, but were the right way to go about things. Do you think Do you think the throwing of that rock was what drove her away? Do you think you went far enough? Would you walk away with the end there of how she left all of a sudden?
Well, because yeah, so yeah, I mean, I did end up throwing a rock, and it did startle her enough to get her away. And yeah, honestly, I think it was just something that like, oh, whoa, what the heck just happened? I think it just pushed her over the edge, just enough to go, okay, I am far enough away from my cubs that I want to get back, and well, he maybe looks scared as well, and so that's obviously it was a big relief to me, and I got kind of cocky at the end of the video, as you can tell, but it was more just because, yeah, I was so excited that it was over. I was excited, like, wow, that that just happened, and I can't even believe, like, yeah, even right now, it almost feels just like a dream.
I think my hands have shaken even harder before like a high school test. So that must attest to you keeping cool. You must have that in you. That's hard to teach.
Yeah, I, who knows?
Um, just so I can put this out, and if anybody's interested in following you or looking out for what you want to do, is there anything you wanted to share with your website or anything you wanted to plug what your endeavors are going
Def-
forward?
so definitely just plugging in my Instagram and my YouTube, which is the Kun Kyle, just Kunkyle, and the YouTube just has a Z on the end of it. And then yeah, store coming. I'm assuming some merch will be coming here pretty soon. We're still finalizing some things because I'm talking to some wildlife guys, and my plan is to share a good profit, some of the profit going to some wildlife foundation.
Oh, that's really cool, man. I would like to vote for I'm big and scary. I might have that wrong.
Yeah, that. I know that's definitely on one of the T-shirts.
Well, I'll be looking out for those. Thank you so much for your time. Is there anything else you'd want to say about people keeping safe out there with the wildlife? Um, any other notes you wanted to make?
No, I think that's it. I mean, just be safe out there, pay attention, and also respect it.
Awesome. Wish you all the best going forward in these hundreds of interviews and everything you do later in life. And good luck with everything, man.
Hey, thank you very much.